How much fiber do you need for good digestion and regular bowel movements? That's a great question, and today we're going to dive right into that. Hi, I'm Jen. If you're new here, I'm delighted to meet you. I'm a doctor of physical therapy, and I can help you achieve abundant health with a carnivore diet. The current dietary guidelines suggest that adults need 25 to 38 grams of fiber per day. Fiber supposedly helps you keep regular by adding bulk to your stool, stimulating muscles in the GI tract, speeding up transit time in the GI tract, and promoting healthy gut bacteria. The first governmental guidelines related to fiber came out in the 1970s. At that time, the National Academy of Sciences Food and Nutrition Board established a daily recommendation of dietary fiber intake of 20 to 30 grams per day for adults. Interestingly, it was also in the 1970s that the government started telling us to decrease our fat intake. In my opinion, these recommendations are contradictory and very related. My own personal experience is that I spent my entire life dealing with constipation. A few years ago, it got so bad that my doctor sent me for a colonoscopy to make sure there was nothing wrong inside my guts because I was pooping so infrequently. When I did go, it was incredibly hard and painful, and I almost never met a toilet that I didn't clog up. Believe me, I've got a long list of embarrassing stories related to clogged toilets. Just over a year ago, I started the carnivore diet. During that time, I've ingested zero fiber, zero. Yet I'm pooping more comfortably than ever. Why do you think that is? It's because of all the healthy fat in my diet. Eating enough fat keeps you slick as a whistle because it lubricates the stool, making it easier to pass through the intestines. Fats can also help add moisture to the stool, making it softer and more slippery, which helps it move more easily from your belly all the way to the toilet. It makes sense that if you're on a low-fat diet, you're going to need some help in the pooping department. In that case, I guess fiber can be helpful. But fiber can create a lot of issues too. I'll share with you a real-life example. As a physical therapist, I work with patients hospitalized with all kinds of medical issues, but one that I see fairly frequently is people with diverticulitis. Here's a very simple, non-medical explanation of diverticulitis. There are small pouches or diverticula in the wall of the colon. Undigested food, specifically fiber, can get stuck in those pouches and then they become inflamed or infected. Itis means inflammation. Therefore, diverticulitis means inflammation of the diverticula, which again are those little pouches in the wall of the colon. During their hospital stay, these patients get put on a very specific low-fiber diet to allow the inflamed diverticula to heal. This diet helps because low-fiber foods are easier to digest and they put less strain on the digestive tract. That all makes sense, right? The counterintuitive thing is that once they're better, these patients are encouraged to go back to eating fiber. Make it make sense. There are many different types of digestive tract issues besides diverticulitis. Some of the more common ones these days include IBS and inflammatory bowel diseases like Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. Do you think these issues have gotten better since the 70s when we started getting encouraged to eat more fiber? No. They've gotten much more prevalent. I promise you, I am not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not. But I do smell something fishy with this situation. About 50 years ago, we started getting told to eat more fiber and less fat. And during those 50 years, we've gotten sicker, fatter, and much more reliant on pharmaceuticals. One not so fun fact that I simply cannot overlook is that Humira, a drug that treats Crohn's and ulcerative colitis, is literally the most profitable drug in the world. To be clear, I am not suggesting that the individual people in the healthcare field, such as the doctors or even the hospital administrators, are out to get us. I honestly believe that most of them have a heart to help people. But I am not so naive to believe that the pharmaceutical companies, with all their billions of dollars, aren't significantly impacting the way that health and wellness is handled these days. These companies pay big bucks to educate our physicians, to market their products, and to provide the research that tells us what we should eat and what medications we should take. Just talking about it raises my blood pressure, so let's bring it down a little. You don't have to rely on the system to tell you what you should eat and what medications you should take to treat the problems that arose from what you've been eating. You can make your own decisions, empower yourself, do your research, and do what's best for you. When it comes to fiber, though, you don't need it. You don't need it to poop, and you don't need it to be healthy. Of course, you can eat it if you want, but if you're having digestive issues, then I'd encourage you to try a little fiber vacation and see what happens. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment with your thoughts, regardless of whether or not you agree with my perspective. I will happily engage even if you drive all over town with an I Heart Fiber bumper sticker. I'd much rather hear an opposing opinion directly from you than from some pharmaceutical funded research paper. Lastly, catch me on Instagram where we can connect every day.